USTP Channel 5.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Like a rocket burning through time and space, the NFL's best will rock this place. The Vikes meet the Pack on hallowed ground. It's a black and blue battle in Titletown. You better be ready, strap in and hold tight. There's no love lost at Lambeau tonight. Hit it! Come on and hit it! Come on and get ready! Come on, big dog! Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party! Yeah, this is Hank and I'm ready to get this big blast started! Let's get those helmets crashing, this place will ignite! All my rowdy friends are here for Monday night!
This is ABC's Monday Night Blast, live from the ESPN zone in Baltimore Center Harbor. Come on in. We're bringing the party to your living room. Tonight, a Norris Division meeting between the last two unbeatens in the NFC. The 4-0 Minnesota Vikings at the 4-0 Green Bay Packers on the not-yet-frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Berman, and welcome to The Zone. Ahead, Frank Gifford on Vikings rookie revelation Randy Moss. It's been 3 years since somebody beat the Packers at Lambeau, 1995. And the Green Bay home winning streak, including playoffs, has now reached 29 straight. Mike Holmgren's Packers have also owned the Central Division, except for the Vikings. He's 5-7 against Dennis Green, and tonight, the Vikings slipped the Packers another curveball. Randall Cunningham, the starter, at quarterback. Now let's go out to Lambeau. Al Michaels calling the game as always. And Al, Randall's success in the playoffs last year and early this season, it's a wonderful story, isn't it?
It's a fabulous story because, Chris, in 1995, he played with the Eagles. They did not want to renew his contract. Nobody offered him a job in 96, so he retired. He went into television, and he went into the granite business. He was building kitchen countertops. And then Dennis Green said, come on back into football in 97, be the backup to Brad Johnson. Johnson got hurt at the end of last season. He guided them to a playoff win over the Giants. Johnson hurt again week 2 this year. They expect him back at the end of October. But the meantime, Randall has been great. One thing about Randall, Chris, is that we remember him as the freelancing wild Randall. Now he's more of like the pocket conservative Randall, but he's still a very effective Randall.
Age will do that to you, Al. That's for sure. Have a good game. And, of course, you talked about the freelancing Randall. Remember 10 years ago this week, Monday Night Football, Randall Cunningham hurdling over Giants linebacker Carl Banks, throwing a touchdown pass as his Eagles beat Parcells Giants. Here he is back on center stage, a marvelous story. Now in the Home Depot Outside the Zone feature, the fast and thus far fruitful friendship between veteran and rookie. With that story, my compatriot Frank Gifford. Frank?
Well, Chris, Minnesota's speedy rookie Randy Moss, the Vikings' leading receiver, is attempting to outrun a world of doubt. With a past that included jail time and a positive drug test, the enormously talented Moss was still around when the Vikings had the 21st pick in the draft. Then in-camp wide receiver Chris Carter, a player who beat a drug addiction, willingly offered his services as a coach and a counselor, providing Moss evidence every day that a past need not claim a future. Tuesday is an off day for most NFL teams, and each Tuesday at Lord Fletcher's on Lake Minnetonka, Chris Carter and Randy Moss share dinner. 2 days earlier, the work in progress that is Randy Moss had faced the Chicago Bears.
I want him to be a great player. I want him to be regarded as one of the greatest receivers ever to play the game. See, that's friendship. That's that tough love your mom tells you about.
There you go.
Hey, Moss, the guy said, make sure you're back, man. He said he's going to call us next time. Either you're on or you're off, okay?
I think we expect so much out of each other. By me being the rookie of the team, he expects so much out of me, like catching the easy ball. And when I don't do things right, then he's supposed to holler at me.
Come on, you got to catch that.
We're pretty tight. We're pretty tight. I think...
some days he hates me.
He has his days, you know? He has his days catching and, you know, one-on-one against the defensive backs and trying to get open.
Shut up, boy. Yeah, let's go. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, you better hope you can play as long as me. Hey, when you get on your knees and say your prayers tonight, pray.
Say 'em every day, baby.
Pray you can play as long as me. Pray. Eventually, they're going to get old, though. People going to be calling you old man on the field.
They can do what they want.
Father time, old man.
Touchdown. Father time, touchdown. Randy Moss, you're up, touchdown.
Left leg up, right leg up. I'll let you go and do all that dance. Where'd you get that from? I mean, what is that? Huh? What is that?
That's something you practice in the mirror. Don't you like dancing in front of the mirror?
If you don't watch your past and learn from your past, you definitely will repeat it. But if you have learned from it, which he says he has, there's no need to keep reflecting on it. You know, I think that we're going to accomplish so much in the future that, you know, let's base everything on what we're doing now and what we're going to do in the future.
That's where you step up, fellas. Good job, dog.
I think the first time I talked to him on the phone, I told him that was going to be one of my goals.
When he leaves the game.
When I leave the game, I want him to be regarded as the best receiver in the league.
So far, Moss and Carter each have 4 touchdown catches. And 4 games into the season, the Tuesday night Diners on Lake Minnetonka have not tasted defeat. Moss set a team record in the season opener, the only Vikings rookie ever to score twice in his first game. As for Chris Carter, he's on a pace to finish the season number 2 all-time in touchdown receptions. He's come a long way, Chris.
No question about it, Frank. Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns. Looked like Moss does, too. Next, multiple MVP Brett Favre drops back in our Bio Blast. And we'll return to Lambeau for Dan and Boomer's views on one of the NFL's best but least heralded border wars, the Battle of Wisconsin and Minnesota. We'll be back.
I'm freezing dry thinking about something hot.
Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich is seasoned with a blend of pepper and spices, so you'll feel warm all over.
Come on, man. Tell me what you're thinking about. You mind if I open the window?
When you're hot, you're hot.
When you need brake service, shocks, and of course, mufflers, nobody puts it all together like Meineke.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
I think the most important feeding is the one that you start in the fall, so your lawn starts to look healthier in the spring, and consequently, you need Scott's Winterizer. When I put down Winterizer in the fall, it allows us to develop a good, strong root base, and it allows the lawn to endure the winter weather, and you get a real early greening. This grass is beautiful, thick, deep green. People will stop by and say, how'd you do that? Scott's Winterizer gives the grass a kickstart in the fall and makes it really look great in the spring.
The Spine Tingler.
The potential of a true sports car is something you experience, you feel.
That first 300 became a legend in its own roaring time.
The all-new 99 Chrysler 300M Sports Sedan.
To get the feel of this automobile and the thrill, you really have to drive it.
It holds the road with the widest stance of any other car in its class. The Chrysler 300M. The technology has changed, but the soul lives on.
I'm John Randall of the Minnesota Vikings. Here, young people are learning to climb, not just physically, but academically, through this unique United Way supported program. Working together, we're solving today's problems through the United Way. The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
Welcome back to The Zone, everyone. Last week against Carolina was business as usual for Brett Favre. 5 touchdown passes, 27 completions for 388 yards, but 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, 8 knockdowns. A little ugliness, a lot of brilliance, and a ton of heart.
Hi, I'm Brett Favre. When you step onto the field, you know you can't look back. I'm so driven and so focused on those 3 hours. When I step into the hole, guys know that.
Brett Favre, double pump over the middle, touchdown.
I think I do have a lineman's mentality. I think a little bit of a linebacker in me. I'm just not afraid to play this game. I do some things that are very risky. It gets me in trouble sometimes, but it's things I prepare for. I go on in my mind, you know, I think of ways I can make this play work. It's what am I going to do to attack them? If it comes down to 4th and 1 and I have to die for a first down, you know, I'm going to do that. I play as hard as I can because I know it doesn't last forever.
He is so much fun. Last week was the 3rd time in his career that Favre threw 5 TD passes in a game. The 2nd time he did it was last year against the Vikings at Lambeau. Now let's go back out to the not yet, well, maybe the frozen quagmire of Lambeau Field. Dan Dierdorf and Boomer Esiason. Hey, Boomer, no Dorsey Levens in the backfield for the Pack. So will this be even more of a Brett Favre circus than usual?
Oh, absolutely, Chris. You know, every time Brett Favre steps on the field, this little boy comes out, and this little boy plays with reckless abandon. He takes chances. He throws the ball all over the place. He has so much confidence in his arm, and I suspect tonight that that little boy is going to have a lot of fun against the 27th ranked pass defense in the Minnesota Vikings.
Dan, though, the Vikings have stopped Favre before. When they did it, how did they stop him?
Well, they did it, Chris, by being disruptive up front. One of the things to really key in on tonight is the cat and mouse game. Where will John Randall be tonight? Normally, he's at that under defensive tackle for the Vikings. Tonight, he'll start at defensive end. They're going to move him all over, trying to get him loose to get to Brett Favre. One thing the Packers and the Vikings both agree on, that is the fact the Viking corners have trouble covering at that 20 to 25-yard depth. If they don't pressure Favre, it could be a big night for the Packer passing game.
Could be a wild game. Have a good time, guys, up in Lambeau. We going into week 5, by the way, even though Minnesota's given up a lot of yards, keep this in mind, they had the most interceptions in football with 8. There are 100,000 citizens in comfy Green Bay, Wisconsin, and give or take a few outsiders. Most of them will be at tonight's game. 60,790 filling sold-out Lambeau Field. The rest of the city, it seems, is on the waiting list to buy tickets. At last count, 46,364. In the top quarter of that list, but a long way from Packers heaven, is 48-year-old Dan Klaus.
Welcome to Green Bay. I'm Dan Klaus, Operations Manager for American Foods Group Meatpacking Plant. Currently, I'm number 12,435 on the Green Bay Packers season ticket waiting list.
Considering we only took 5 names off the list last year, we kindly remind applicants that delays are possible.
I expect my tickets somewhere around year 4485 AD.
I'll definitely be retired by then.
Medically speaking, Dan is in excellent physical condition. Unfortunately, by the time his season tickets arrive, he'll be 2,535 years old.
I looked into a bunch of other options, but nothing really panned out.
At the present time, we have 33 names on the waiting list just to be ushered.
Well, what's the turnover rate on that?
I've been here 45 years, so you do the math on it.
45 times 33.
What's 45 times 33?
1,485.
Wow.
It's a long time.
I'm in for a pretty long wait. But considering there's 30,000 people in line behind me, things could be a lot worse. I'll see you at Lambeau Field, everybody.
Don't count on it, Dan.
Hey, a momentary breakthrough for Dan tonight. We were able to get him and his family 4 tickets. Okay, not on the 50-yard line, but in the stadium. Packers or Vikings? Which will join Denver as the only 5-0 team in football? We'll be back on the Lexus Halftime Show. Enjoy the game, everybody.
The more you do something, the better you get. State Farm's been settling car insurance claims for over 75 years. Millions of them. We've come up with a system that works so well that more drivers trust State Farm than all those cut-rate insurers put together. You're buying into that promise that we're going to be there to take care of you when the claim happens. Every day, State Farm handles over 30,000 claims. It's a practice makes perfect thing. That's the reason the competition doesn't stand a chance.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
When Olga Maslova wants to phone her husband, she gives new meaning to the words long-distance call. He works in a space station.
Before you call or you fax or you internet, you need this, and this.
It's a job for Siemens. We're experts in voice, data, video, all kinds of communications, anywhere on Earth. So why not above the Earth as well?
So for this, or this.
We are Siemens.
We can do that.
The lightweight aluminum in your car radiator is the only thing between you and a breakdown. Put in Prestone. It bonds with aluminum to give you a powerful zone of protection against corrosion. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
it your way, it just tastes better.
Sunday, Norman Waters has 40 days to build a floating zoo.
You don't want me to build a mall?
And it's beginning to look like rain. So he gathered all the animals 2 by 2.
The Ark is not a makeout place.
Tony Danza in a premiere movie event. Noah, ABC Sunday at 7, 6 Central.
What if someone told this football star he's a father?
Hey, you never say that to a pro athlete, not even as a joke.
Get the whole story on Brothers Keeper, TGIF Friday.
Are you ready for some football?
Starting at quarterback for one of the elite teams in the NFL, the Green Bay Packers is perhaps the best player in the NFL, Brett Favre. 3 times the league's most valuable player, he led the Packers to a world championship in Super Bowl 31.
Brett Favre, touchdown!
But the bid for 2 in a row was dashed in last January's loss to the Broncos. This year, the Packers have been perfect, winning all 4 games thus far.
To the end zone to Derek Mays, touchdown!
It's been a perfect start, but the big picture remains clear to Brett Favre.
It's quite an honor not only to win a Super Bowl, but to get there. Not too many players and too many teams get to go. And we went 2 years in a row. So whatever we got to do this year to get back and make sure we win it, let's do. And if we're not the best team, we're not the best team. But let's don't cheat ourselves.
Tonight, the most attractive game of this young season as Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers meet the unbeaten Minnesota Vikings. It's a matchup of the NFC's only remaining undefeated team on ABC's Monday Night Football.